We're back to making tier lists. Now, the last time I made a tier list, it didn't really go so well. So I hope with a new audience,
I lost gang numbers, I can't act cool. I got gang scriptures in my tattoos. I was running from the police in my trap shoes. Posted trying to flip 100, I come back full. Come from nothing, but I blossom to a tycoon. Betrayal scars, case I think it.
now the first tier list we're gonna do is attack type jutsus. And to start it off, we're gonna start with the worst jutsu I think in Shinobi Striker history. Just kidding. This is from the Killer Bee DLC, Acrobat Technique. I'm gonna put it in niche and I'll explain why. Personally, I think it has its uses and it's pretty decent to block off damage, but you can still get hit by multiple things and it doesn't block off damage. It only, you can't really fight them up close. And that's really the only thing. It's like a rotation that doesn't protect the user for attack types. Kind of stupid to me. Some people ride or die with it. I personally don't, but I understand it's useful sometimes. We're gonna throw that in niche. Now, we're gonna talk about my favorite jutsu, the Almighty Push. Now, Almighty Push is from Pain. Almighty Push just recently got a buff. Now, this gets rid of super armor, and I'm putting it in fairly good because it wasn't always good. It wasn't always the super armor breaker that it is now in the meta breaker right now that it is. We're gonna put it in fairly good because it's from now to back then. And back then, it was low-key trash, and all it did was extend combos and break guards. I think it's fairly good. I like it. Now it's meta. Baruto Strike, one of my favorite attack type ultimates, but I can't be biased. I think the damage isn't good enough. The special gauge is dummy fast, but it doesn't do that much damage, and you can get out of it, and you can dodge it pretty easily. So we're gonna put it in okay. Some people can make jutsus that are niche and okay. S tier or SS, absolutely broken. Dynamic entry is not OP. It is not absolutely broken. It's just a really good jutsu. Gives you that defense buff. It also does a dynamic kick, which you just get kicked, and sometimes it breaks guards. Sometimes, you just fly back. And it's also a really good jutsu to flag run with. So I just think it's a really good jutsu overall. I think I've said really good like 6 times. This is also from the Might Guide DLC. The next jutsu is also from the Might Guide DLC, Night Guide, which you just, you do the Sekizo.
What did he say?
And then you do the Night Guide. Now, this jutsu is really good, but it does have its drawbacks, so we're gonna throw that in fairly good. I like it a lot. I love it. I used it again, but I don't want to be too biased. But listen, you need to try these jutsus out for yourself and do your own tier list and comment down below. If I don't see about like 5 tier lists of this, I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be upset, man. So make sure you guys are commenting your tier list, but hey, fairly good for Night Guide. Now, this jutsu is 8 inner gates, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in niche. It does not heal you over time. It does immediately heal you, but the gauge is somewhat on par with the jutsu we're going to talk about later that heals you over time. Now, this jutsu that you get from Killer Bee is absolute trash. It's not good. It's Kurama Link mode, but trash. Like, not even good at all. It doesn't heal all your teammates. It only heals one person, and you have a second gauge that most likely you miss. Anyways, not good at all. I think everybody will agree that that ultimate doesn't make any sense. They need to buff it in some way, shape, or form. So Flying Raijin is an OP jutsu that we get from the Minato DLC. It boosts defenses and you can fly around. You can do it with flag running. Overall, just a great jutsu. Now we have Flying Raijin level 2, and I gotta put it in the same way that I put fairly good for Flying Raijin because it's a combo extender and a lot of people in the pit love it. Some people ride or die with this jutsu. I don't understand why. Some people do. I'm gonna put it in fairly good because me, myself, and I don't really use it that much because I don't like it, but I can't be biased. I see a lot of people running it, and there's a reason why they're running it because it's a combo extender. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in fairly good and give you guys respect because I know you guys love Flying Raijin level 2. The next jutsu I want to talk about is from Kakashi. Now, this is not the Kakashi DLC, but it is Kakashi. This is Kamui, and I think Kamui is an okay jutsu. Can it kill multiple people? Yes. Can you do multiple things with it? Not really. Can you get rid of certain people hiding in rocks? Yeah, but it's pretty easily dodgeable if you just jump out of the way, and it doesn't have a large range. The next jutsu is another Sharingan type jutsu, and that is from the Shisui DLC, Kodo. Now, I think Kodo is OP. It is not absolutely broken because there's many counters. So I highly recommend you try the Shisui DLC, but it is not broken. I would say it's OP. And the gauge, you can get it like 2 or 3 times in one game. The next jutsu is Kurama Link mode, which you can get from the Naruto DLC. And I think Kurama Link mode would be OP. Like, it heals your teammates. It gives them all back their jutsus. It heals you immediately, and you become like Sonic the Hedgehog and just run around as fast as possible. And then you can do a Kurama Link head, and it's just OP. Like, cause you can one-shot people, you can hit multiple people with Like, it's just kind of, it's not broken because there's counters to it. You can easily dodge it, and it doesn't heal your teammates that well. So I think it's OP, but not absolutely broken. Kurama Impact, I think, is a really good jutsu from the Naruto DLC. Highly recommend you try it out. I think it leaves you kind of open a little bit, but a lot of jutsus that are really powerful do leave you wide open. So highly recommend you try it out. Comment down your tier list and let me know in the comments below. I'm gonna put Kurama Link mode in really good, just because I think the Super Armor Breaker is just too undervalued. Leaf Flash, it's an okay jutsu. It was the meta for a little bit of the double tie, but it's really not that useful anymore. Leaf Rising Wind, always gonna be a fairly good jutsu. It's not overpowered, it's not that great, but it does get you to point A, point B faster, and also has a great, animation. It has a great reach and stuff like that. So I think it's just a fairly good jutsu. Leaf Whirlwind, it's not as good as Leaf Flash. It's okay, but it's really just niche at this point. It's really just a good starter pack jutsu. Lightning Blade, again, gets from the Kakashi, like VR Master. It's okay, not too great. I don't know. Lightning Blade can break guards if you put the right thing on it, but it's really not, like, it's not that great. It used to be meta when you did flag running because you could hit people and you can go faster, but it's just really not it anymore. They need to buff it in some shape or form, because in the anime, Lightning Blade is ridiculous, Chidori is ridiculous, and they haven't really done much with it in Shinobi Striker. Like, Rasengan gets a buff every other day, and they get put out like 7 Rasengans. But with that, I'm going on a tangent. I love Chidori, I love Lightning Blade, and I think they should boost it a little bit more. Make it do something like break guards, because how are you gonna block a Chidori? How are you gonna block a Lightning Blade? You can't. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you can block a kick. You can block a Flying Rising in level 2. Not, I'm joking. Lightning Chakra mode, it's a niche jutsu because, hey, you do get your jutsus back. You do get super armor. But I would put it on the same playing field as 8 Inner Gates. It's not really that great. It does its thing, but it's not it, man. I like to get in the jutsus back, but you can still die in that ultimate, so it doesn't really make any of that. Just a niche. Like, it's good. It can be good for flag running, but that's about it. Next up, we have one of my favorite jutsus, and I think one of the most underrated jutsus in Shinobi Striker is Lariat. Now, Lariat, to me, does have some drawbacks. Obviously, not that big of a damage output. You have to hit multiple times to really do anything, but it does break guards, and it's a good combo extender. So if you're doing claw combos, you're doing the triangle, and then as soon as you're about to end the triangle, you go ahead and hit Lariat. You're getting double the hits, and it just looks smooth as heck. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in C right next to Lightning Blade. I think they're all pretty much on the same level. The next one is Super Rasengan, Super Massive Rasengan. Sorry, excuse me. How dare I? I am a peasant. Call me Peasant HD for the rest of the day. All right, Super Master Rasengan is going to be an okay. It hits, but it misses a lot. I would say it's better than Lightning Mode and 8. Octo Hug, when it first came out, was really OP, honestly. But now, as of right now, I would say it's a fairly good jutsu. It does its thing, but it's not ridiculously OP, which is also something you can get from the Killer Bee DLC. Next up, we got a Pain jutsu, the Planetary Devastation. So I'm going to put that in fairly good, because when it first came out, it was ridiculous. Now it's so-so. You really have to connect, and you're not going to pull up many people unless they're like basically holding hands. So you pick what you want to do with Planetary. I honestly think it's fairly good. It had its like 15 seconds of fame. That's what I always say. Did that jutsu have longevity, or did it have a 15 second of fame? A jutsu like that is an example. I would say, to be honest with you, Leaf Flash had a 15 second of fame. At the beginning, season 1, it was going crazy, but now, not really that crazy. Level 3, I think this is a really good DLC jutsu from Minato. I highly recommend you try it out. You can kill multiple people with it, or you can kill one, or you don't kill anyone at all. That's why it's not an OP with the other ultimates. I just think it's a really good ultimate from Minato. Now, Rasengan, a lot of Toe fanboys are going to be mad at me, but I think Rasengan is pretty OP, because even if you block it, it'll send you fire or flying. It also slows your attack speed down and charge strength, all that stuff. So I'm gonna put it in a fairly good, because recently the buff to it kind of OP, and if you put it together with the right thing, it's ridiculous. Rasen Rampage, I don't like Rasen Rampage that much because you can jump out of it, but I see its potential, because if it ever gets a buff where you can't really jump out of it and it takes away your sub or something, I think that'd be pretty interesting. But Rasen Rampage right now, I think it's just a fairly good jutsu, because you can get out of it, but it does put out that damage. It puts out that damage, you know what I'm talking about. Come on, man. Okay, Rasen Shuriken. A lot of people ride or die with Rasen Shuriken. Honestly, I think it's trash. I think it might be a bad for me. If I was doing this based on my personal thing, I'd put it in bad. I think Rasen Rampage or Rasen Shuriken, you can easily dodge it. You can really easily dodge that thing, but it does do some crazy stuff. So I'm going to put it in okay, because a lot of people ride or die with Rasen Shuriken, but I think it's low-key trash. in the anime, it is what it is. 7 Heavenly Breaths, which I was going to talk about later, is a better version of 8 Gates because it does heal you over time. It does everything 8 Gates does, but does do that heal over time. And if you get hit, it heals you all the way back up. And it has I think maybe even a faster gauge than 8 Gates, which I think is kind of ridiculous for not even, it was a filler like arc in Naruto Shippuden about the guys when they did Chunin exams, and this guy like, oh, I have Heavenly Breaths, which is just a knockoff version of 8 Gates. And they're like, what? So basically this guy's in Demon Slayer and he can do breath, like breathing techniques. He's like, breathing technique? Nothing, because I can't do chakra at all. Like I have no chakra. So that's basically what it is. He's just doing a breathing technique from Demon Slayer. But hey, whatever. It's cool. It does heal you over time. I like it. Sharingan. Sharingan's just a really good jutsu. It's solid made. It's a good idea. You get a substitution. You just basically, it's a genjutsu. Like you're not actually there. That's how I see it. It's just a genjutsu. Sharingan, love the jutsu. Try it out for yourself. You get that from Kakashi. Great guy. Check him out. I'm just kidding. No, Kakashi is a good mentor. If you want to start off Shinobi Striker, definitely check out Kakashi. Definitely get Sharingan. Sharingan, Leaf Rising Wind. Good starter jutsus. Really OP. Highly recommend you check those out. Snake, definitely go in a niche. I don't put it in bad because it can seal jutsu and it does really good OP damage, and it's a good base or flag sitter for you guys, I guess. Next we have teleportation, which is an okay. I think it's okay. Like it's nothing crazy about teleportation. Does it have a boost? Yes. Is it good for flag? Yes. But that's really all it's used for. Tornado High, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, not a huge fan. Tornado High, low key, not good at all. Like I'm being so serious. A lot of people hype Tornado High up. Yes, it heals you, but you can block it and it doesn't do that much damage. So I'm gonna put it in niche because people rock with it, people ride or die with it. I am not one of those people, never will be, never really want to use it. If I gotta make a build with it, I'm low-key gonna cry. So don't ever suggest one. Hey HC, I want you to try out this Tornado High build. I'd be like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm just not gonna do that. Halo Blade, you guys are gonna be surprised because this is from the Shisui DLC, but I'm gonna surprise you and put it in the really good category. And I'm gonna explain to you right now why I'm gonna put it in there. It's the, okay, this is gonna sound really, really dumb. It's the first time attack types had a sword, and I think that's dope. It's one of the few fire techniques that we do have for attack types. Now that's just the aesthetic part of the really good jutsu. I also like, in photo mode, you can see the Sharingan in its eye. That's really just good for pictures. Cool, another aesthetic thing. All right, now it can lock up subs, does decent damage, and if you're doing it right, you can pitfall people with the last hit and pitfall maps. So that in itself is just broken to me. And I kind of like it that it locks up subs, and it's just kind of aesthetically pleasing, and you can't get out of it. So I think really good. It sits there pretty. I think everybody likes some Halo Blade. The Shisui DLC. I'm gonna put this right here in the absolute broken SS category because let's be honest, Uchiha Shuriken from the Shisui DLC is the most broken thing in Shinobi Striker for attack types. It's the biggest crutch. It does seal subs, I think. Seal subs? Seals jutsus. I don't remember which one it does exactly. I'm dead right now. But I'm pretty sure you can't sub, you can't use jutsus. It's absolutely broken, especially if you're just triangle spamming and then you use the Uchiha Shuriken and then you keep comboing, and then as you're comboing, you lock them up. Now they're extending the combos, and overall you can bring it behind you, and if anybody in the way and it hits them, they're locked up as well. That's just broken to me. That's crazy. I think the cooldown should be a little bit higher. And oh, and I didn't even mention the best part. It makes you incredibly fast. It makes you incredibly insanely fast. Nobody can really catch up to you. You're flying around the map. You look like Flash Gordon, like a ridiculous amount of stuff, bro. All right, so Universal Pull from Pain is an okay jutsu. It does what it does. It does what it does. It does what it does. Let's just be honest. It pulls people closer. There's nothing if, what, or but about it. Does it get rid of Sand Shield? Yes. Does it get rid of all these other jutsus like Water Pillar? I don't think it does Wood Dome. Don't quote me on that. I don't know about Wood Dome. But it does all that stuff. I feel like that's an okay jutsu. Vanishing Rasengan, I'll put it in okay. It's a power hitter. You don't see it coming. It's okay. I think it's better than Tornado High. That's from Boruto as well. Senju Hands, I'll put it in really good. I'll put Senju Hands in really good. Long, and why it's not an OP, and the only reason, the cooldown is way too long. Way too long, okay? That's all it is. All right, way too long. That's just my point of view, honestly, on that. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below about Senju Hands. I just think it's way too long. And you get that from Hashirama. All right, Wood Dragon. I'm going to put Wood Dragon in OP. Now, let me explain why I'm putting Wood Dragon in OP. Wood Dragon takes away jutsus, it heals the user, and does incredible damage. And I think it got a cooldown nerf, or what's the word? It reduced the cooldown to use the jutsu. So is that a buff or is that a nerf? I think it's a buff if you think about it. Anyways, Wood Dragon, kind of OP. In a sense, I would like for it to like strangle the enemy and then take their health that way, but that's not what they wanted to do. The tracking is a tad bit off sometimes, and that's okay. Next up, we have the other Hashirama jutsu, Buddha Hands, and I'm gonna put that in niche. Some people ride or die with some Buddha Hands. It was Octo Hug for them for the longest, right? I don't really like Buddha Hands. I think it's kind of stupid, and I think they could have picked any other jutsu for, like, they could have put the deity gates for Hashirama, and they just missed the mark on that, which is kind of stupid, honestly. But hey, it is what it is. I'm gonna put that in niche because some people ride or die with it. Me personally, don't ride or die with it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Youthful Roar, okay? Youthful Roar is a fairly good jutsu, and I'll explain why right now. It does get rid of all status elements. You stun the animation, like you do all that stuff, but it's just really cool. Like I'm being honest with you, it's just really cool. That's why I'm gonna put it in fairly good, and that's a little bit biased. That's probably the most biased. I think Youthful Roar stuns, gets rid of status elements, and it's just really cool. So let me know what you guys think about this tier list down in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.